So today we're going to cover point 3 of the importance and scope of international economics. So today's presentation is a bit unconventional because it's not a presentation. Basically, this article by papertheory.com is quite in depth and at the same time informative and interesting to read. So rather than taking material from here and putting it in a presentation and showing it to you, I'd rather use the website in itself to explain the concept of foreign exchange market. So let's begin. Foreign exchange markets basically, this rule is there in across countries, and this is kind of a general agreement of sorts that usually either the country says, okay, I'll buy your goods in my local currency, or you can buy my goods in my local currency, or you can pay me a different currency. To explain this better, let's say India says to China, okay, China, if you want to buy tea from me, okay, so China, it asks rice. Okay, rice is a better example because recently rice has been imported by China. So China says to India, okay, India, I want rice from you. India says, okay, but you will have to pay me in rupees. Now China doesn't have rupees with them, so they'll exchange rupee with with the Indian government in the foreign exchange market, and this will in return increase the value of the Indian rupee in their market, and this is called as appreciation of value because of the fact that Indian rupee is being used to trade commodities. The demand for Indian rupee rises. I'll repeat this. So let's say I'll present you the second situation so you can understand the first situation better. The second situation is with USA. India wants to buy, let's say, steel from USA. So India goes to USA and says, okay, I want to buy steel from you. The USA says, okay, but I'll take dollars. So India doesn't have dollars, so now it has to purchase these dollars in return for rupees. So now the value of rupee depreciates because now rupees is not being used for trading commodity, but dollar is being used. So internationally, countries like Iran and the OPEC, that is oil producing whatever, those countries, and all the different countries, third world countries, usually prefer to exchange their goods in return of dollar or euro, and that's the reason why the value of euro and dollar is so high. I think dollar is at 73 rupees. Let me just confirm once. Dollar exchange rate. See, dollars is 73.101 rupees, and whereas euro is 89, I guess. Euro is 88.56, yeah, pretty close. So what does this mean? Basically, this says that, okay, third world countries or countries whose currencies is different from USA's dollar or euro or pound or whatever, they prefer to trade in this in that currency because of the fact that it is used so often, and its value is higher. Let's say, okay, India wants to buy goods from both USA and at the same time from China, or let's say Japan. It won't have to buy dollars for trading with USA, and then again buy yen to trade with Japan. They could simply trade in dollars because of the fact that Japan accepts dollars as payments. And so because of the ease of using dollars across the world, that's the reason why the value of dollar is higher. among other reasons such as the the United States being a developed country, its production, its goods being exported, its goods being imported by other countries on a very large scale, and all these different reasons. Along with that, the ease of using dollars causes the price of dollar to be higher. So an Indian person, or let's say the government of India too, will have to have dollars with it in order to buy goods from USA, right? Or buy goods from any other country for that matter, assuming that everyone is demanding the US dollar. So this is where the foreign exchange market comes into place, wherein you can exchange money in return for other currencies. So India's currency in circulation is called the Indian Rupee, as we all know. But then United States doesn't really want Indian rupees; it needs US dollars. So India selling its rupee in return for US dollars. So India giving 73 rupees to, let's say, USA or to some other country in return for a single dollar would be a forex trade, and this is regulated through a forex market. Now forex market is not a real place, wherein it's kind of a virtual platform. There's no geographical location. It's electronically linked network and is open 24 hours a day, because of the fact that there are time differences and there are different time zones. If it were to only be open for a select number of hours, then the price would go rampant. If you see the stock market too, there's a lot of decision making, and there's a lot of new news and all these things that influence the market even when it's not functioning after 3 p.m., right? After 3:30 p.m. So that's why it's important that forex markets stay open 24 hours a day. So now, why would someone buy Indian rupee, right? But then let's say Vietnamese dong exchange. Vietnamese dong is 0.0032 Indian rupee. So I'll reverse it in order to 1 rupee to Vietnamese dong is one Indian rupee is 316 Vietnamese dong. If you're not able to quantify this, it basically would be if India had to pay 316 rupees to get $1. Vietnam has to pay 316 Vietnamese dong to get 1 Indian rupee. So you understand the economy. They can't afford to buy US dollars. Let's say US dollars, 1 USD to Vietnam dong. It's 23,000 Vietnamese dong. 23,000. The minimum wage in Vietnam is fourth quarter monthly paying workers was at 5.86, so they earn 58 lakh Vietnamese dong per year. So now that I think about it, it's not that high, but but yeah, so they have to pay because the quantity is high, so they might prefer to directly take Indian rupee from us, India, and use those Indian rupee to trade with other countries which may use Indian rupee as a trade. Usually there are some countries which use Indian rupee as forex exchange. I'll Google that right now, countries that use Indian rupee for forex. Sri Lankan rupee. I'm not sure whether this is right, but yeah, it's used by some countries. It's not very prominent, but it's used to some extent. So, but then as we see, the highest demand is of euro and the US dollar and pound and all of that. So this is regulated by forex markets. Now in India, it started in 1978. Foreign exchange market started in 1978, and I think it was before that there was so the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, right, regulates these foreign exchange market dealings in trade. Whereas before there was the Foreign Exchange Regulations Act, or FERA, in 1947. Internal dealing, interbank foreign exchange trade, is regulated by the Foreign Exchange Dealers Association of India. It simply means that, okay, there is a government body to both regulate the foreign exchange market with other countries, whereas the local trade is regulated by Fed. I won't pronounce it. Foreign Exchange Dealers Association of India, 1958, self-regulatory, and all these terms which basically mean that regulates the government and charges with the interbank foreign. Okay, so it basically means it's self-regulatory. It doesn't have a legal body as such. It imposes rules upon itself, and you'll understand why it's a self-regulatory body in some time. Since all these, so clearing and settlement functions in the foreign exchange market. Basically, clearing and settlement functions mean that, okay, I buy $100 worth of $100 is way too less, but let's say I buy $100 worth of I buy $100 actually worth of me. I buy $100 and I sell $100 after one day. I buy $100 today and I sell $100 tomorrow. So the change in rupee, right? The change in rupee, if the change is positive, that is higher, let's say $1 equal to 73 today, $1 equal to 74 tomorrow, then I'll book a profit on of 100 rupees. Correct, 100 rupees just by exchange. Now scale this up. I buy 7,000. I buy $1,000 instead of $1. So then the profits will be scaled up that much. So the difference is the clearing that must happen, the clearing between buying and selling, or sometimes selling and then buying. And settlement is when you buy and then it gets delivered. So all these are regulated by the Clearing Corporation of India. Not that important. All these facts are old numbers. So I think this was December 30, 2014, old numbers. So this is important. Foreign exchange market in India consists of 3 segments or 3 tiers. I don't think this is the right spelling for tiers, but yeah, 3 tiers. First, it's RBI and authorized dealers. Authorized dealers mostly are commercial banks, and then there's the authorized dealers dealing amongst each other, which is the second tier, and then the third is authorized dealers selling it to their customers, their corporate customers, MNCs and all of these big companies who want to buy these dollars. So all these facts are kind of important. You can read them while I speak, but it's not something super interesting. However, in India, before 1991, right, before LPG, the system of exchange rate was fixed system. So the government used to decide, and the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, would decide what the value of dollar would be against the Indian rupee. And if you think about it, if the demand and supply naturally decide the price, right, then it would be something more reliable rather than a government body or a bank deciding, whether a national bank deciding what's the exchange rate. And this is a unique fact. The Indian government was told by IMF that they need to adjust their rupee price, and it was, I think, the exchange rate increased by 13 or 14 rupees at that time, if I'm not wrong. Let me search it. IMF. What should I search? Okay, foreign Indian rupee price rise after LPG. No, I don't think this is right. No, after LPG, after 1991, devaluation of the rupee. Yeah, the tale of 2 years. So if you'll see, there's somewhere you should find that we devalued the Indian rupee by significantly. Yeah, so here it is. We were told, yeah, here 18 to 19%. Rupee devalued by 18 to 19%, 20%. So if in current times, if we say Indian value gets de-rupeed, let's say Indian rupee against dollar, I should actually flip this. United U United States dollar against Indian rupee. So 73. See, it just changed. That's how volatile it is. First it was 73.01, now it's 72.99. And you could book a profit. You could book a profit with that small 0.01 difference that was there. It might be very small, but it's still a profit. So let's say we devalue it by 20% today. So the price, right, this 73 rupees would rise by 20%. What's 20% of 73? I'll take the round figure. 73 is 14 rupees, around 14.5, somewhere along those lines. So this would increase to 86 rupees. 86 rupees. That's a huge amount. Considering how important foreign exchange is, this is a huge amount. So that devaluation happened, and then it was decided that India's foreign exchange will become flexible rather than fixed. So flexible, that is the demand and supply. Today, if someone is ready to sell sell dollars against Indian rupee at 60 rupees for $1, people would buy it like crazy, right? Because it's so low. I would immediately buy at least $10,000 worth and then sell it at the current price, that is 73 rupees, and I would book a profit of 13 rupees per dollar. That's 1,30,000 rupees without a single penny worth of efforts. So, but then no one would sell the dollar at such a low price, right? Because it's a loss for them as well. But then here is where RBI steps into it, because of the fact that this can happen, that at times a single government body or a single group of people having bad intentions might be easily, not so easily, but might be able to manipulate the markets. RBI steps in when the rupee appreciates too much, or the rupee depreciates way too much. So what does rupee appreciating mean? If the price is falling really quickly, that is, the demand for rupee is increasing really fast, it will step in and it will see why is this happening. And if it sees that, okay, this is not something natural, this is not something that should happen, it will automatically step in and regulate this. How would it regulate this? Because people are people are using rupee, right? So it will now use the rupee that it has, and RBI has the highest reserves of Indian rupees against the dollar. So now it will start buying dollar, it will start supplying rupee against Indian dollar, against US dollar. So it will increase the supply, and the demand is already increasing. That's why the rupee's price is rising. I hope this is understandable. Basically, more and more people are using Indian rupee because it is being used so much. Simply, it means that the demand is rising. People want to use it, so people are asking more of it. And because people are asking more for it, it basically means the demand is rising. So because this demand is rising, in order to counter the effect of that, RBI will increase the demand for dollar against Indian rupee. So RBI will start off supplying the Indian rupee, and will start buying, and this will automatically meet the demand with the supply, and it will adjust automatically. It will adjust the price equilibrium. So it will adjust this kind of the price will start because of the demand being so high and the supply also being high. There won't be a shift in the price of Indian rupee. I hope this is understandable. So because what happens is, if a commodity is rare, right, what does it mean? It is rare. Either the supply is too low or the demand is so high that the supply cannot match it. If that happens, right, कि अगर I have this pen in my hand right now, and I have this pen in my hand right now, and people really, this is one of the most rare pens out there, touched by big famous people and autographed by a number of people, whatever. This pen is in demand, like this is one and only across the world, and people want to buy it like crazy, but the supply is limited. There is only one pen, right? So the demand is rising, but the supply is the same. So now people will start giving more money, hoping that okay, I will sell that pen, use my supply to meet the demand. Similarly, but then let's say that it happens that people are ready to pay 2 lakh rupees for this pen, which costs only 10 rupees, 2 lakh rupees. But now someone comes and says, okay, this is a fake pen. I also have this, and like 1,000 people or 1,000, 10,000 people or 1 lakh people pop up and say, okay, we too have these pens. You can buy these. So now the demand that is there, people were ready to buy it for 2 lakh, but now you have 2 lakh pens ready. So now people don't need my pen only. There is a supply of this pen around the globe, and so they don't need this pen. So because of the supply matching the demand, the price will now start falling, because it's no longer a unique commodity, or the demand is no longer, the supply is no longer in a deficit. The supply is enough to meet the demand. So that's what the RBI does. The exact opposite is it does when the rupee depreciates too much, because people are not using rupee, right? People are not demanding rupee much. Now it sells dollars. So, but then says, if I am ready to sell dollars at this price, but then you have to buy it with Indian rupee. So obviously US dollars you're getting at somewhat of a discount than the market rate. So I'll start buying the dollar, but in exchange I have to supply Indian rupee. Because of the supply, the supply is high, and because of the rupee being way too low, the price being way too low, because they are buying that dollars with Indian rupees, they need to demand Indian rupees. They might not have Indian rupees with them because of obvious factors, such as the country being not India. They won't have Indian rupee as such, so they will start demanding Indian rupee in order to buy US dollar. Because this demand will rise, now it'll match and it'll recalibrate the price. I hope this is understandable. So that's what this point means. Then inflation. So this is kind of the basic fundamental of inflation, because of the fact that okay, inflation. What does inflation do? It increases it decreases the value of money and increases the price of goods within that country. So now, if I am paying more than the usual amount for a particular commodity, I might take a step back and think, okay, if I have to pay so much for this commodity, why don't I just import it and I'll get better quality from outside? That might not be the case. The quality might be the same, but human minds work differently. So they will start demanding the foreign good, and because in order to get that foreign good, you might have to pay in foreign currency. This kind of affects the supply and demand again, and the price of the Indian rupee would depreciate. Then imports and exports, obviously, because as I said, if you want to buy some good from one country, the government of India, or the India as a country wants to buy goods from USA, then they will have to provide in US dollars against those goods. They have to pay in US dollars to get those goods. So that's how imports and exports influence the foreign exchange. Interest rates of the government bonds in emerging countries such as India attract foreign capital to India. Very simple. Government bonds are the safest mode of investment. Usually, government bonds also represent RBI's policies, and RBI decides the interest rates. And if the interest rates are really enticing, people will start coming, and foreign capital will also get invested into the country. And because foreign capital will be either in dollars or exchanged into Indian rupees. Because of exchange happening, the price will change. And the operations basically means, okay, the major source of supply of foreign exchange in the Indian foreign exchange market are receipts on accounts of exports and invisibles in the current account, drafts, travelers checks, and inflows in the capital account. So all what does this basically mean? So India has a large amount of a significant amount of the population which works outside of India as NRIs, or they send money to India. So whenever this happens, right, the external the deposits from NRIs come to India, these are always in dollars or always in foreign currency. They are never in Indian rupee, because RBI gives better rates if you deposit foreign currency rather than actually exchanging foreign currency for Indian rupee and then depositing Indian rupee. So this is called operations, wherein the exports, the imports, and the deposits from NRIs, and subtracting the money taken by foreigners and from the money deposited by foreigners is basically what operations means. And all of these are included in the current account and the capital account, which we will learn later. So all these factors, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, influence foreign exchange market. So now, getting back to it, international economics is what is used by RBI for RBI intervention. Inflation is also studied in international economics to understand foreign exchange. Imports and exports, obviously, the government decides how much to export, how much to import, what price, as we decided, what trade barriers, what non-trade barriers, what non-tariff barriers, what trade barriers to impose, tariff, non-tariff, and what to do, what trade policy to make with the government of that other country. And these interest rates, believe it or not, interest rates are influenced by the highest number of factors. These include local Indian government policy changes as well as international economics. They don't completely rely. The RBI doesn't completely rely on interest rates of the RBI doesn't completely rely on international economic theories for determining interest rates, but it does play a certain role. And operations, obviously, calculating the current account and the calculating balance of payments and all this, which we will learn later, is influenced by international economics, and therefore it's important to study international economics for understanding foreign exchange market. I think that's it for the day. Thank you for watching. I am 100% sure that no one is going to complete the entire video. So if you do tell me in the comment section. I don't really care about the comments as such, because the only reason I'm making these videos is so that if people of sympathies are looking at them, they get some value. If you have some suggestions for me, such as, okay, please don't explain everything in such detail, I will stop doing that, because this is all kind of knowledge. This is not theory as such. All these things, right? RBI intervention, inflation, exports, imports, balance of payments, all these terms are kind of expected to be known by an international economics student. So I like to explain them in detail. That's it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I could give some value. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.